Why is he getting so much views on YouTube? Why? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I create chalk lettering and digital lettering videos and videos about the creative hustle. I've been trying to alternate between lettering topics and talking about the creative struggles because I believe mental health is also equally important when you build your creative hustle. This week's video is all about the comparison trap because we're humans and we all like to compare. And no, you are not an exception. I am sure that even experienced and prolific artists out there fall into this trap at least once in their creative life. And especially nowadays when sharing our work has been made so much simpler through social media, there's so many options and everyone gets equal access to these apps. So before we proceed, let's try to define what comparison is in a very simplistic way. To me, comparison can be either with a person who's more experienced than you are, or it could be with someone who's less experienced than you are. Let's be real. You could have internal monologues just like these. So let's add a bit of drama to this video. Why is he getting so much views on YouTube? Why? Why is she getting more engagement on Instagram while she only has half of my followers? Why are they getting more sales? It took me a month to grow this plant. It sucks to be in my position. Oh my god, she only started a year ago, but she's so much better than me now. Why are they always creating awesome work? Why do they always have good ideas? And how in the world can they have so much motivation and inspiration? Okay, enough dramatization. It's obviously I'm not an actor, so I suck at acting, but I hope it drove the point. Because of this, you will feel like you're stuck, and when you start comparing, the only things that you'll be able to see are the problems, and you'll only see your own flaws and your own limitations. No, don't deny it. We've all been there, and it's a very dark hole. And as humans, it's our nature to compare. Because we want to belong and we want to be noticed, but there's just too many things, too many factors to consider why those keep happening, and you can't potentially control every single one of them. It especially hurts when you are doing your absolute best, but you're not seeing the results. Or maybe your progress is much slower than the others. I know it sucks, but it is something that you need to accept. It is true, you may lack the skill or the experience, and those could be real, valid points that you should accept. I'm not saying not to feel that way. It's okay to feel that way because we are humans, we feel things. But it's a matter of how you react that will spell all the difference. And that's something that you can control, your feelings. You can't control how other people perform. You can't control the reactions of other people to other people's work. But if you want to get better, you need to train your mind. And the truth is, you are different. You are you. We all have our different purposes. You do not need to follow the same path. You can choose to act on your feelings in a positive way. You know what? There are a lot of things that goes behind the scenes. Oftentimes, we don't see how hard it is for other people. We only see what we want to see. Because humans like shortcuts. We're so used to glorifying the end result more than the journey itself. And in order to get out of this vicious cycle, you need to stop comparing yourself and your art with others. Or at least, if you really cannot stop comparing, you can change the way you respond to comparison. Now let me ask you this. Can you really be genuinely happy for others? Can you be genuinely happy for someone who is more successful than you? Never mind if they're more experienced than you or less experienced than you. Can you be genuinely happy for them? It is hard, but it's something that you need to strive for. Once you reach a certain level of skill, you will become more comfortable with the content you publish. You need to strive hard to reach this. But even if you're not yet there, just continue showing up. But the important thing is to not have unrealistic expectations. Now, I won't pretend that I don't compare with other people. I do, but here are the things that continue to help me overcome the comparison trap, and I hope in turn can help you too. Number 1, step out of social media. Give yourself the permission to step out of it. Exposure to these feelings can be toxic. Recharge and come back stronger, and instead focus your energies on recovering and rekindling your passion and your purpose. Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to create your art? Who are you doing it for? When you focus on this, you're trying not to think about the negative feelings that's associated with the comparison. Instead, you're trying to focus on something purposeful. Number 2, focus on learning and doing. Learning something new can be exciting. Think about all of the things that you wanted to learn more about your art or your craft. Was it a different lettering style, or is it putting shadows or other embellishments? You can also just simply do more of what you feel like and what feels natural to you. Commit pen to paper and see what happens. Don't think too much, just do. Number 3, list down what works and what does not work. Once you're in a better position, you are able to control your feelings and emotions and your reactions to those feelings. Sit down and evaluate things objectively. Take stock and evaluate the things that you've been doing and your approach to doing things. Write down everything that you can think of, from your process to your hashtags and comments to the time and date you post, and then create 2 columns on a paper and categorize those that you wrote into those 2 columns. Think about what you need to improve on and what are the things that are already good. And then when you evaluate those, you'll be able to find new ideas how to improve your work. Once you do that, you'll be able to see what you need to work on and focus on those instead, and not on the feelings that you get when you compare with other people and other people's art. Next is appreciating and celebrating the small wins. Celebrate the victories. Whenever you reach a milestone, list it down. No matter how small it is, it matters. Celebrate the small wins along with the big wins. So when you're feeling a little bit down, you can look back on how much progress you have made through time. Maybe you reach 100 followers, maybe you reach 1,000 subscribers. It can be anything. Maybe some famous lettering artist noticed your work, or maybe a famous brand commented on your work. It doesn't matter how small it is. And also, do not forget to be grateful for these wins. Next is focus on collaborating instead of competing. Instead of looking at other artists as competitors, you can ask to collaborate with them and pick their brain. If you're always on a competition mindset, you'll only feel alone. And being alone is suffocating. You don't have anyone to rely on, and you need to figure things out all by yourself. But once you see artists as people too, and try to talk to them, you'd be surprised at how much better life would be. Build relationships instead of building walls. When you start to help each other out, you will find that things will just fall into place, and eventually hope that they become your friends too. Because what do friends do? Friends help each other out. Friends support each other. Isn't it comforting to have someone who can relate to your hardships and know exactly what to tell you? So instead of competing, build solid relationships. You don't have to be afraid of not having enough work for you, because there's enough space for everyone. Lastly, share what you know. I know it's counterintuitive, but it works. People are often afraid to share because that might make it faster for other people to catch up to you, and maybe you'll have more competition in the process. Sure, that might be the case, but having the scarcity mindset is not gonna get you anywhere. If you share what you know, more people will see that you are an expert. And not only that, you cement in yourself that you are someone worthy and you have something to share. So with all these helpful tips, I hope you get yourself out of that comparison trap. And remember, comparing will only make you feel more alone. You will feel like you are competing against everyone, and it's everyone against you. And that's not healthy. I don't want to be in that place. So what do I do? So what do you do instead? Instead of comparing with the person, the result, and their work, you should compare the processes and the approach and maybe the relationships that they're building. If there's one good thing about comparing, it's being able to see what other people are doing right. And that's the key thing. You have to do it objectively. See how you can apply their best practices and apply it into your own work. And that's it for this week's video. I hope this helped you recover from a comparison trap. If this resonated with you, like this video and subscribe to my channel. Also, let me know down in the comments what other things you want to learn more about. As always, thank you for watching. Stay safe always, and I will see you again next time.